On June 12, 2015, Phineas and Ferb will be ending its run after 4 seasons and almost 7 years on the air.
Well, here we are. My first review as a college graduate. I think this was also the first review I did at my parents' place. I remember I filmed like a bunch of videos at the same time, like this, The Love God, like 2 peeking at the pilots. I think I even did that Adam J. Slumdog Millionaire defense. Hey, I had no job and didn't know how much I would get the house to myself. What do you want from me? But anyway, Candace gets busted. I decided to do this review pretty quickly when I learned the show was ending. Yeah, that was just sort of dumped on us. Like with only a few episodes left, they were like, yeah, the show's ending. At least that's how I remember it. Candace Gets Busted is one of the more hated episodes of the series. I've heard people who love the show, hate the show, or are just indifferent say that this episode sucks. I appreciate that they tried to shake up the formula a little bit. After all, Phineas and Ferb was a very formulaic show, and they needed to mix things up every once in a while, but God, that ending just left a bad taste in my mouth. When Candace can get in trouble for doing shit Phineas and Ferb do every other episode, it just makes the rest of the series feel like they're letting the bad guys win. So if you want to mix up the formula a little bit, then let's check out the season 2 episode, Not Phineas and Ferb.
Hey Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today. We're going to the Space Adventure Film Festival.
Because apparently the term sci-fi is copyrighted. Is that why that channel had to change its name to Sci-Fi? Phineas and Ferb are planning to watch movies today, and we cut to Irving's house.
According to my motion sensors, Phineas and Ferb are awake.
Stop the episode. You put motion trackers in their room. You put devices to track them in their home. You know, I realize Phineas and Ferb are very trusting, and they don't exactly have the cleanest conscience on what qualifies as legal, but I think they have every right to get restraining orders against this guy. Also, did his brother just knock down the door? Either he's taking steroids or that's a shitty door.
Older brother should have 24-hour access to younger brother's rooms.
Well, it could be worse, Irving. Could have to share like me and my brother did because my parents are cheap. I had to share the same room with him for 12 years. Irving tells his brother Albert about Phineas and Ferb and all the inventions they've made, but he doesn't believe him.
I can tell a fake a mile away, little brother. They call me the truth detector.
So Irving tells him to come over to Phineas and Ferb's house, which Albert agrees to do at noon. Also, Perry is set out on a mission to stop Doofenshmirtz. Irving drops by, but Phineas and Ferb have already left for the movies. Fearing Albert will call him a liar, Belgique has a plan.
What am I gonna do? Albert goes back to boarding school tomorrow.
Phineas and Ferb made me this 3D projector. I can project one of their projects right into the yard here. Your brother will think they just built it.
And it wouldn't be lying because they actually did build it.
Kid logic. So they set up a hologram of the Eiffel Tower, but they still need Phineas and Ferb to pull off the illusion. So they come up with a truly awful idea.
Time for a makeover!
A manly one, right?
Meanwhile, Doof is playing with his train set when Perry bursts in. Doof explains that he was never allowed to play with the train sets when he was little, and now that he has his own, he's disappointed with how cheap they are. So he's come up with the best plan possible. Fly around to the national landmarks and shrink them down to put on his model train set. Alright, 2 problems here. 1, you're ripping off the Great Putinsky. And 2, most natural landmarks would just look out of place in this train set. As a connoisseur of all things train sets, I would find a Great Sphinx replica in the middle of downtown Pittsburgh to be very unnatural, no matter how good the detail is. Back with Irving and it looks like they're starring in the worst possible remake of Face Off. Albert shows up and immediately buys that the Eiffel Tower hologram is real. Guess those boarding school classes aren't really paying off.
Hello! I think you know what we are doing today.
Hello, I'm from England, and I don't talk much.
Why does that one boy have eyes in his mouth? Birth defect. Actually, he totally buys into the charade, much to Irving's surprise.
Tell me about this Eiffel Tower.
It is big.
And Mexican.
I thought it was French. What do you know? Learn something new every day.
And they say private schools are better. They even attempt to make, a bookshelf, I guess, and he still buys it. Candace notices them, and when she sees that it's Buford and Belgique, decides to call their moms to bust them, as well as Irving's, and hell, might as well get her mom in on the action too.
You guys are amazing. What else can you do?
I can turn my head completely around.
Wow.
You should really be dead right now. So Albert is satisfied and admits that Irving is right, but Irving wants to take it a step further and show that he tricked his brother, so he tells them that it was fake and goes back to show him. Meanwhile, Doof and Perry are heading back to the tri-state area after shrinking all the monuments, and Perry uses Small Ben to escape. There are probably people in that. They're dead right now. After a fight, Perry manages to shrink Doof but grow the real Eiffel Tower, and it falls in Phineas and Ferb's yard.
See? I can run right through it!
Yeah, that would break his skull. So Irving proved his point, but still kind of lost. So, The moms show up, and I love the joke with Buford and Baljeek's mom looking and sounding like them, and then Irving's mom is just a bombshell. You know the drill. Perry shrinks the tower before any of them can see it, and Linda wonders why she hasn't committed her daughter to a mental institution yet. Despite how bad Candace Gets Busted turned out, when the show broke formula, they usually turned out pretty well. This episode is a good example of that. Admittedly, I would have liked if they just left Candace out entirely, as she feels pretty pointless, and I would have preferred Irving just taking her role for this one. Irving deserved to lose more in this episode than Candace did in that one, as he technically was winning, but then just wanted to go that extra mile and ended up paying the price for it. His sort of fanboy, creepy personality was pushed up to 11 this time, to the point where you kind of wanted him to lose, even if Albert is a bit of a dick as well. The episode itself is just a ton of fun. The characters were funny, I like the subplot with Perry and Doofenshmirtz, even if it was a total ripoff, and I laughed a lot. I just loved Irving's reactions when he sees Albert buying all the bullshit. The only nitpick I have is that it's a bit predictable. Now, like I said, the show has a formula that makes it somewhat predictable, but I guess what was gonna happen within the first 5 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty good. There are better episodes out there, but this one is definitely a better break the mold story than the other one I reviewed. So next up is Gravity Falls, and we need a better version of the Love God. Well, since next month is October, I figure we should not only look at one that managed to take an unlikable character and make me care about them, but also the creepiest episode in the series. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Also, why the fuck does the Sphinx have a nose? That's probably the most iconic thing about it.